My name's Matt, and I'm about to share a tale that still gives me the creeps to this day. It all went down a few years back, but the memory is still as vivid as ever. So, picture this. I'm living in this cozy little apartment, just your typical one-bedroom setup in the heart of the city. It was a quaint place, nothing out of the ordinary, and I'd been calling it home for a while. Now, let me set the stage for you. It was a chilly November night, and the wind outside was howling pretty good. I'd just gone to bed, pulled the covers tight, and was just about to drift off to sleep. But then it happened the first time. I heard this faint metallic sound, like a soft click. My eyes shot open, and I was wide awake, scanning the room in the dim glow of the streetlights filtering through the curtains. That's when I noticed it. The light bulb in my bedroom ceiling fixture was unscrewed just a tad, casting a weird, crooked shadow across the room. My heart started thumping in my chest, and I couldn't make sense of it. I mean, who would mess with my light bulb in the dead of night? I tried to shrug it off, convincing myself it was just a random glitch, maybe a loose bulb. So I screwed it back in and went back to bed, albeit a bit more on edge. But then it happened again the next night, and the night after that. And the night after that. Each time, I'd wake up to that same eerie click and find the light bulb unscrewed just a bit more. I couldn't explain it. I checked the window, the door, everything to make sure no one was breaking in. But there was no sign of forced entry, no clues as to who or what was behind this bizarre nightly occurrence. I even tried different bulbs, thinking maybe there was some kind of electrical issue. But no matter what I did, the light bulb kept unscrewing itself, like it had a mind of its own. I started losing sleep over it, tossing and turning, my mind racing with all sorts of unsettling possibilities. Was it a prank? A ghost? My overactive imagination playing tricks on me? I even considered getting a security camera to catch the culprit in the act. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that someone was toying with me in the dead of night. As the days turned into weeks, I became obsessed with finding an explanation. I couldn't concentrate at work and my friends thought I was losing it. But I knew what I was experiencing was real and it was driving me to the brink of madness. I was plagued by the mystery of the unscrewing light bulb. Night after night, it became a tormenting routine. I'd screw it back in, and by morning, it would be undone again, like some twisted game of cat and mouse. But it wasn't just the light bulb that haunted me. No, it was the feeling that I was never truly alone in my apartment. That every creak, every shadow held something malevolent. I'd wake up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat, my heart pounding in my chest, and I'd see it, the light bulb slowly unscrewing itself, casting eerie shifting shadows around the room. It was like a never-ending nightmare. I became obsessed with finding an explanation. I examined every nook and cranny of my apartment searching for hidden cameras or any sign of intrusion. But there was nothing. It was like this malevolent force was taunting me just out of reach. I couldn't trust anyone. Friends and family dismissed my paranoia as stress or lack of sleep. But I knew I wasn't imagining things. This was real, and it was happening to me. I even called in an electrician to inspect the wiring, thinking there might be some logical explanation. But he found nothing wrong, no reason for that light bulb to keep unscrewing itself. He gave me a skeptical look and left, leaving me more frustrated and terrified than ever. The psychological toll was immense. I'd catch my own reflection in the mirror, pale and sleep-deprived, eyes haunted with fear. I couldn't escape the feeling that something was watching me and was waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And then it happened, the night that pushed me over the edge. I woke up to the sound of the light bulb unscrewing itself once again. But this time something was different. There was a presence in the room, a sinister energy that sent chills down my spine. I glanced around the room, my heart racing, and that's when I saw her. A figure standing in the corner, shrouded in darkness. It was a woman, but her features were obscured by the shadows. I could feel her hollow gaze fixated on me and terror coursed through my veins. I tried to scream, to call for help, but no sound came out. It was like I was trapped in a nightmare, paralyzed by fear. I couldn't move, couldn't escape her malevolent presence. She started moving toward me, slow and deliberate, like a predator closing in on its prey. Panic washed over me, and I knew I had to do something, anything to break free from this living nightmare. With every ounce of strength I could muster, I lunged for the bedroom light switch, flicking it on. The room was flooded with blinding light, and in an instant the woman disappeared, leaving nothing but an empty corner. I collapsed onto the bed, gasping for air, my heart racing. The light bulb, for once, remained screwed in. But the terror that had gripped me that night was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. After that nightmarish encounter with the mysterious woman in the corner of my bedroom, I knew I couldn't keep living in fear. I had to find out who or what was behind this relentless torment. I started researching online, looking for any similar stories or explanations. That's when I stumbled upon a forum thread about unexplained phenomena. People were sharing their own experiences with strange occurrences, and some of them sounded eerily similar to mine. One story caught my attention about a woman who had been experiencing something similar with her light fixtures. She described a sense of being watched, a presence in her home that seemed to feed on her fear. It was like a pattern, a twisted game being played out by some malevolent force. We started exchanging messages, comparing notes, and it became clear that our experiences were eerily similar and that we only lived 20 miles away from each other. We both felt like we were being haunted by some unseen entity, something that reveled in our terror. Together, we decided to set up cameras in our homes, hoping to catch a glimpse of whatever was behind these unsettling events. It was a nerve-wracking process, but we had to know the truth. Days turned into weeks as we monitored the footage, searching for any sign of the mysterious intruder. And then one night it happened. I was watching the live feed of my friend's camera when I saw her, a figure slowly emerging from the shadows, just like in my nightmare. She moved toward the light fixture, her hand reaching up to unscrew the bulb. My heart pounded in my chest as I watched in horror. I quickly called 911 and asked for police to go to my friend's house, and then I called my friend to warn her. By the time my friend woke up to answer my call, the woman had disappeared again. The police arrived at her place but couldn't find any trace of the woman. We provided the police with a recording from the security camera. They were able to enhance it enough to show the woman's eerie smile and her empty, soulless eyes. It sent shivers down my spine, but at least we had something to go on. After a few days, the police identified the woman as Emily Turner, a troubled woman with a history of psychological issues. She had been fixated on me and my friend, targeting us with her bizarre and terrifying actions. It turned out she had been living in her car, and for some unknown reason she had been following us and watching us from the shadows. The police had apprehended her in the mall parking lot a few blocks from my apartment. As the police searched her car, they found a stash of disturbing items which included photographs of my new friend and me, notes filled with incomprehensible ramblings, and the same strange symbols that she had on her fingers. Emily was taken into custody and sent for a psychological evaluation. It was clear that she needed help, but her actions had left a lasting scar on my psyche. I eventually moved out of that apartment, unable to shake the feeling of being watched. But the nightmares weren't over. The memory of those empty, soulless eyes and that sinister smile haunted my dreams for months to come. My friend and I stayed in touch and have remained friends. She too moved out of her place shortly after I moved out of mine. As I reflect on those unsettling events from my present-day perspective, I can't help but wonder what drove Emily Turner to torment us in such a twisted way.